time. Hey, there we go. Holy cow, we're up and running. All right. When I said I have checked several times, guess what? I checked several times. Talk about an internet connection. Holy macro. I'm like hard-lined into the fastest internet you can find. Hi, how you doing? If you're anything like me, you kind of feel guilty about watching the Masters this weekend, then you have a home here. Welcome to the Go Show, celebrating all things outdoors in this beautiful outdoor playground of a world that we live in. Please check us out all different social platforms. If you're watching on Facebook, we appreciate you hanging out. If you're watching on X, we appreciate you hanging out. Head over to YouTube as well. Follow along and subscribe. Appreciate it. And as you guys are my people, and you've been around me a hot minute, you know that technology and me do not go well together. What's up, Eddie? Parker, you're up at the river. Oh man, yeah. A buddy of mine has a big, ginormous place a couple buddies of mine have a couple of them on the California side, Big River. Holy mackerel, what a blast that is! All right, well, it's good to have you here, Eddie. And listen, if you felt guilty like I did about watching some of the Masters, then let's chat about that. The Masters to me is something, obviously, you're watching inside. You're indoors. You're not like me. You're not getting outdoors. You're not doing out, celebrating this wonderful weather. I had the windows open, the doors open. I was doing the domestic stuff that you have to do on the weekends, maybe folding some laundry, and it was on in the background. And I kind of felt like I should be, look at these guys. Look at these people out here. They're having a great time. Look at them out there. Everybody's out there just getting sun, having some drinks, doing the, little Masters clap. And and I'm thinking, dang, that is something to celebrate. It really is. And I think the biggest takeaway I had, besides how just beautiful Augusta, Georgia is, one of the biggest takeaways I had was there wasn't a cell phone there. I have to look this up because maybe they don't allow cell phones at the Masters, but there wasn't a phone in sight. Everyone was in the moment, enjoying the outdoors, enjoying watching some stellar golf. And the winner of the Masters just put on a clinic, just put on a show of dedication, focus. I would love to hunt with this guy. Because he's not going to chit chat. He's just going to stay focused, laser focused until the job is done. Nothing but impressed by him. What an amazing champion, and what a kind of fun to watch. Yeah, okay. The Masters people are very pompous, and they love them some them. It's a tradition like no other. The Masters. Yeah, okay. Yeah, good. You love you some you, dude. Fine. Why don't you just talk about, hey, look at everyone's out here getting some vitamin D, having a good time. Yeah, that's it. Just stop being a tradition like no other. No, it isn't. It's a round of golf. It's 4 rounds of golf, and that's what it is. It's the same as any other tournament, and you get an ugly green jacket at the end, and that's it. But we should celebrate the outdoors. At the end of the tournament, Greg Nance was just killing. He was killing time. He's just, I don't know what happened to the trophy presentation, the jacket presentation, but Jim Nance, God love him, just had this voice on like this. And he was just fawning all over what a magical week it was, and this, and how amazing it was, and how wonderful it was. And he was right. But the poor guy was just, instead of like, hey, you see that squirrel in that tree over there? Look at that. Whoa, look at that bird. Hey, that's actually a native bird here to Georgia. Get outdoors. But I had a good time. I had a good time watching it. Felt a little guilty, but it was cool because I think it promotes getting outside. You see all the driving ranges this week, chock full of people that just were motivated by it. And maybe they think they can be a tournament player. Great, whatever. I don't laugh at them. If you have dedication and passion to something, be dedicated, be passionate about it, and your life is going to be great. But these people just said, you know what? I need to get out and hit some balls. Wow. Look at how beautiful it is out there. Yeah, so I think it's a good thing to celebrate. Speaking of something to celebrate, 19 heroes right here in Arizona. The Yarnell Hotshots, the Granite Mountain Hotshots, the Yarnell firefighters that lost their lives saving a town. I mean, quite literally, there's no two ways about it. They saved a town, and the job was done. They were packing out, and they were overtaken. The flames took a turn. And just probably the most horrific way someone could go, they went, all 19 of them. And still, my heart goes out to the one survivor that just has to have an immense amount of survivor's guilt. He's kind of the watchman, the kind of the one up top glassing and pointing, go this way, go that way, radioing it. and he had to listen to it and watch this. Heart goes out. So, as you know, my girlfriend has turned me into a hiker, or someone at least that hikes. I don't know if I'm a hiker just quite yet, but heading up to Prescott to the Rodeo, we decided to stop and do the Yarnell Trail, the hiking trail that I have to give the Forestry Service, whoever runs this, mad props. What a beautiful hiking trail. It's a hiking trail that is worthy of the honor of being called the Granite Mountain Hotshot Yarnell Memorial Trail. I'm telling you, it was beautiful. It was well kept, manicured, and just amazing. Every 600 feet, there is a plaque that commemorates one of the fallen. People bring trinkets. I felt bad. I didn't know I was supposed to bring something. I would have brought a challenge coin, something just to love on the memory of these people and to show those that hike this trail that this is no joke. We take this seriously in Arizona. These guys are heroes. And for me, I'll tell you personally, I didn't know how I was going to do with this. I really didn't. I didn't know I was going to do this. I'm not making this about me. I had a hard time with just the thought of going to this because I covered this for a radio station here the day of, the day after, and the day after that. I mean, the Joe Biden, memorial service, I'm sorry, with Vice President Biden attending. And I mean, it was a big, big national deal, but it was also a very emotional deal, a wildly emotional deal. And it was challenging to be there for 3 days covering it, looking at their trucks that are still parked at the fire station. Seeing one of their kids' big wheels, just lost it. So I didn't know how I was going to feel going on this trail and seeing how it was going to be going back and forth. I didn't know how I was going to do. And I'm telling you, I was cool in the gang because A, it's a challenging trail. B, it is so worthy of that honor because it is so well taken care of. It's just beautiful. It was an honor and privilege to be able to hike it. Now, let's get to the getting outdoors portion of this story. Right out of the gates, there's stairs. Who said anything about stairs? Because new hiker here, new guy. I'm the new dude. Yeah, okay. We're starting with stairs. This is not a good thing. Which leads me to this. If you want to get anyone into any type of outdoor pursuit, especially something like hiking, set expectations, set clear definitions. Okay. When I say it is a easy trail, that's like walking, say my grocery store is 2 miles away. That's like walking to the grocery store and back. That's easy. Okay. That's an easy trail. So I have that definition set. A medium trail is, solid grade, but it's flat and you're okay. A difficult trail is what I was on. That is a difficult trail. It is. It is 3 miles in, 3 miles out. And when I say in and out, once again, definitions and expectations. Ready for this? 3 miles up. And 3 miles down. So this is it's a difficult trail. I don't know. I haven't been on many, but this was the toughest I've been. This is the most challenging. Now, there are out here in the West Valley where I live, the West Valley of Phoenix, there's a spot that has several trails. I've summited one of those, and it was challenging, but it wasn't like this. It's called Turnbuckle. I call it Turnbackle. Okay, I don't want. Hey, can we turn back? Yeah. Mm-hmm. I've summited that, and it seemed easy-ish. So that would be intermediate to me. This was difficult, challenging. Okay, but again, setting those expectations, because all I looked at when I was researching, not really researching, but I was told by my girlfriend, it's 3 miles in, 3 miles out. And so I thought, okay, 3 miles in, kind of like we do out here in the West Valley, flattish, nice, easy grade. Not a lot of rocks we're doing step ups on, and that's easy breezy. And I thought, I do 3 miles, no problem, just walking. I can do 3 miles, no problem on a decent hike. It's no problem to me. So I didn't think anything of it. Well, so my expectations were set one way, and they were met by another set called reality. And the reality is that I had to, I'm going to tell you all this. I'll be straight with you here. Started feeling a little lightheaded. Going up the hill. Made it about a mile in, and I wasn't doing so good. My wind was good. My legs were good. Everything was fine. Cabeza, no bueno. I was feeling a little woozy. And so I decided, practice what you preach, Michael. Practice what you should preach and tell your hiking partner, my lady, my head's kind of lightheaded. She goes, okay, let's turn back. I'm like, turn back. I don't turn back. We talk about turning back. I'm not turning back. What do you mean? That's for people that can't hike and all that stuff. That's for people that's out of shape. That's for old people. No way in the world. I'm not turning back. And I was stubborn. I told you every 600 feet, there's another memorial. I said, okay, make a deal. Let's go 600 feet and see how we do. You're thinking, we're just going to keep smoking through there. We get to 600 feet. 600 more feet. And that's up, remember. I'm like, my head does not feel good. I don't know if there's no way I can get all the way through this. There's no way. And again, my legs were fine. My wind was fine. I've been doing some sort of exercise every day. And I thought, okay, I got this. Dude, I didn't. And for those of you that don't know, haven't been following us on our 11-year journey here on the Go Show, thank you for being here. Thanks for playing along. I've had 2 brain surgeries. Actually, 1 brain surgery, 1 skull repair surgery. So I'm very conscious of what's going on in the cabeza, right up in the noodle, okay? And so I was being stubborn. I was being, let's just call it, I was being stubborn. I was being a man. I was being very, very stubborn. And my girlfriend was like, no, I'm not going to have a helicopter come get you. We're turning around right now, and it's no big deal. And I'm pretty sure she was lying when she said, I'm a pro at turning around. I'll make every excuse in the world to turn around. I turned around and I went down the hill, kind of hat in hand, kind of thinking, whoa, I just got my butt kicked by half, not even half of a trail, of a climb, really more than a hike. And I kept thinking about how many times I've told y'all my opinion of people that don't listen to their bodies, people that push their limits, don't know their limits, and don't hydrate, yada, yada, keep the whole list goes on. They should be the ones that are charged for having rescue show up to save them. I've said that a bunch of times. Maybe not charged, maybe fined, maybe a little punitive slap in the hand. I was thinking about that. I was like, how am I going to make headline news? And that's the guy that preaches listening to their bodies and turning around and don't push your limits. That would have been me. I would have been that guy. And stack on top of that, I'm not giving an excuse, because I honestly, it kicked my booty, and it did. And I don't know why my head was hurting like it was, but it was dizzy lightheadedness. And it's not no bueno when you're on the hiking trail, especially when you're out and there's not a lot of people out there. It was getting warm. I was hydrated, and at least I do practice a little bit what I preach. But I've also been doing this intermittent fasting. I guess I shouldn't say I've been doing. It's been a month of just intermittent fasting. It's not really. I just started eating around noon. We got to the trail at about 10:45. I hadn't eaten since the previous day at about 8-ish o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. So I've gone 15-ish hours without any food. That might have contributed as well. So learning as we go along, learning as I go along, and knowing when I can and cannot push, and really just listening to my body, because I think it's important. It just is. And not getting stuck out there. So like the next day, my legs weren't sore. I wasn't stiff, anything like that. I was good. And it's fine. It was fine. It was just a head thing. So now I've got the what do we call that name? Havasupai. There we go. Good gravy. Havasupai. You got to know Spanish and native to live in Arizona. You really do. You just got to be able to pronounce it. Havasupai. I got that hike coming up. So I have to ask what the definitions are. I have to set the definitions and say, where do you put Havasupai in that? Now that I know Yarnell, and now that I know Turnbuckle out here in the West Valley, how would you rate it on that? That's what I want to know. Then I can do 6 miles easy. 6 miles won't be a problem to me. But elevation might be an issue. So we're going to definitely do some training, maybe some high altitude training, yeah, high altitude. Just say, I'm training. I'm training for a big hike. Havasupai. Yeah, you got to get a permit to do that. Yeah. And by the way, Havasupai. People, listen to me. What? How much money? Holy. I was thinking, maybe $100, $150 for a permit. You think about like state agency or something like that. They're not going to charge you, but they're not going to, they're going to take you to the cleaners. 500 what? Now I got to tell you, if the prices stay there, this would be the first and last time I do this, because I'll be priced out of the market. You keep doing that. I'm serious. I don't even want to pay. I know it's going to be a once in a lifetime experience. It's going to be amazing, and I might want to do it again, but that price will keep me right out of it. Billy, nope, did it. I bought a t-shirt. It's great. Done. Got a lot of pictures. Got a lot of show content. Had a wonderful experience. $500. You can do for $500. You know what I can do for $500? I can go to Blue Rooster and fill my freezer with hog. You see what I'm saying? Go like, okay, I'm on a camping trip for $500. I've never spent $500 on a camping trip at all. Holy mackerel! Yeah, that's what are you gonna do? Well, but anyway, I got that coming up, so I got to train for that thing. I'm turning 49 this week, and how am I training for stuff? Where did we get there? Training for stuff now? I'm that guy. Apparently, I'm that guy. Oh, and then, okay, so we did this. Thanks for hanging out. So we did the Yarnell thing, and then zipped on in, and we stopped at Lazy G Brewery and met a fan there. So excited. By the way, and I pulled it to the bar, and he said, hey, do you got a radio show or a podcast or something like that? I said, yeah. And my name is Mike Russell. And he's like, oh my gosh, I listened to you and Rob. I listened to you. And, I was like, holy mackerel. That's so cool. Yeah. So it was pretty neat getting to connect like that. And as random as that is. So stopped at the brewery, had a good meatloaf sandwich. And then we went into Prescott. The reason why we're in Prescott, remember, it's not Prescott, it's Prescott, rhymes with biscuit. Okay. And you know what? I fought for a long time on that. I'm like, no, it's Prescott. Look how it's spelled. Prescott. And people, dude, they'll die in that. They have no problem with that. They have no problem coming at you. It's Prescott. That's like Boise, Idaho. If you say Boise, dudes lose their mind. There are t-shirts when you go to the Boise airport that say BOY-SEE. Boise. Like, okay. Whew, I'm fired up about that. That Nevada. Don't say Nevada. Whew. Okay. Anyway, Prescott, up there in Prescott, we're there for the Maha Rodeo. Holy mackerel. Let me tell you something. I think the Finley Toyota Center in Prescott is a really cool spot. That's actually where it all kind of ties in. That's where we had the Yarnell service. Like the next day, like just a memorial, people just didn't really know what to do and really had to get their heads around it, really had to act in that situation because nothing like that ever happened, especially small town stuff like that. It's just everybody knows everybody's crazy. But the Finley Toyota Center is a cool little place. It's a cool little venue to see an event, and that's where they had the Maha Rodeo. Now, this is essentially it's PBRs. Here we go. Hold on, coffee. Hang tight. Give me a sec, guys. Hang tight. Pro bull riding, PBR. It's like the minor leagues. It's like going to catch a minor league game, minor league baseball game. Like these are good athletes. They're good at their craft, but they're trying to make it to the bigs. So that's where we are on this. Not the team event. By the way, the Ridge Riders, the Arizona Ridge Riders, anybody knows an Arizona Ridge Rider, put me in contact with them. I need to talk to these people because I am now obsessed with bull riding. I think it is so much fun. Not me bull riding. No, I'm not going to be training for that. No. Like I said, 2 surgeries to the cabeza. The potential is even retired of me going to do some bull riding. Anyway, I want to talk to them and I want to have them on. I want to talk about this experience, what I'm watching, what it's like, all of that. I want to get, I'm not going to go to one of those bars and be that, drunk sorority chick on the bull. But I want to talk to them. But these are the minor leaguers trying to get to that point, trying to get up to the top. And it was so much fun because I have to tell you this, and I mean this sincerely when I say this, that the rodeo might be the last major seed that we have to essentially show any kind of pride in our country. And I'm not getting political here. I'm not gonna get all patriotic on you. But I mean, you show up, it's America. We don't care how you look. We don't care what you dressed in. We don't care the color of your skin, your gender. We don't care about any of that. Just come one, come all, have some rodeo fun. Let's get out and have a good time. Let's do really cool stuff and watch some craziness because it's crazy. It really is. There's a certain amount, and that's why I want to talk to the Ridge Riders, and I want to give them some love too. There's a certain amount of crazy you have to jump on a 1,600-pound bull that can jump about 4 feet in the air. So, yeah, there's a certain amount of crazy there. But to witness that, to watch that, I mean, these are athletes. These guys are they're strong. They can take a punch. It's like man versus wild boxing is what it is. It's mano a mano. There's really not much you can do. Oh, Mike, they do this to the bull and that to the bull. Bulls are fine. Those bulls look, if that's it, I'm telling you, let me put it this way. If I have to come back as an animal, I'm coming back as a hunting dog, an indoor hunting dog. I'm coming as a hunting dog or one of these bulls. Okay, the worst thing you have is somebody ties a rope around your junk and they say, okay, go buck this dude off you. Okay, I can do that once a week. I'm good. And they're catered to. They have beautiful names. And speaking of names, by the way, tomorrow we are going to cover at length who names plants and birds. There's some weird people naming these things. They're worse than minor league baseball teams. Anyway, the athleticism that you see, the man versus wild, it's just man versus animal, man versus nature, is so much fun to watch. It's something to get out if you get good tickets and you just want to see some crazy stuff. The public address announcers are in the rodeo. We used to call them rodeo clowns. They're now called bullfighters. I'm disappointed in that. I'm not going to lie to you. I thought I'd see some clowns. I really did. They don't need to come up and make me a balloon animal. I mean, that's just what I thought it was. I thought the guys running around getting the bulls to get back in the pen. I thought they're supposed to be in makeup. No, these dudes are like they're like celebs. Yeah. Anyway, so I was reintroduced to bull riding, and it was awesome. My girl got me some great seats. We were there in the front. We were right by the buck and shoots. No lie, they're called the buck and shoots. And every time he said buck and shoots, we both went buck and shoots. But we had the close up. Here's one of my big takeaways. I was rooting for the bull. I'm not kidding. Not that I wanted to see somebody get hurt. I wanted to see somebody get launched, because that's kind of what you do, right? I mean, even if you do the whole 8-second deal, you get bucked off the thing and you kind of do some cool little dismount. You get launched. And then after they get launched, then the rodeo, can we call them rodeo clowns? I don't want to offend anybody. Give me a Ridge Rider on the horn. The bull fighters, bull wranglers, they jump in. And I mean, sometimes they got to hightail it up the gate. They got to hightail it up the wall and just hope they don't get rammed. And then the second line of defense is this dude on a horse. And he's got a lasso with him. Mm-hmm. And he's got a lasso the thing. And he does the big spinny thing above the head. Looks really cool. I mean, it's just like, it's Americana to the nth degree. Just a spinny thing, Wild West style. And that's supposed to basically show the bull like, okay, all right, y'all ain't playing now. I'm going to go back into my chute and get spoiled. Sometimes that don't work. And they're dancing around, trying to get this thing back in. And there's a couple times where homeboy had to throw out the lasso and just hook the thing. And there was also a time where the bull rammed the horse right in the tuchus. I mean, just pop. Felt bad for that horse, man. I was like, dude, like looking back up at the guy, like, why did you put me in this spot? Just got rammed right in the booty. Oh my gosh, it was terrible. It was terrible. But that, and then they went out and switched horses, and the next I was just like, why Ed wasn't good enough? Why am I out here right now? Do you see that bull? And there's a hairless ape riding him, and he just got thrown into the 7th row, and you want to take one with your little rope, dude? I always like to think of what animals are thinking at certain times. And these horses, by the way, champion, just awesome to watch the horses work, and to watch that rider work the horses is amazing too. But just I am blown away that this stadium was packed. The people were excited. The energy was high. And I'm going to recommend that to you. I'm going to recommend if you just go into pro bull riding, PBR.com or whatever it is, and just get on the mailing list. I mean, what an amazing, amazing thing to do with the family. And it's just too much fun. They had kids. Now, I know what mutton busting is. If you don't know what mutton busting is for the little kids. They put them on sheep. And they let the sheep get out there. And by the way, the kids have the full setup on. They've got the helmet with the mask, and they've got the big vest on, and they get out there and they ride a sheep around until they fall off. It's a lot of fun to watch. But they had kids on bulls, like little bulls, but bulls nonetheless. And there was this kid that did the whole 8-second thing, popped off like a champion, scurried up the wall, and then he went out into the middle of the ring, and it was like WWE. He was just like, yeah, and the people were fired up and losing their minds. I'm like, this country is going to be just fine. Holy cow. It's just a fun thing to watch and something I highly, highly recommend. Yeah. And this is another thing I'm going to say after my Yarnell Trail experience. The weather's changing out there. This is just the public service announcement from your Uncle Mike. I do this every single year. Please give me the runway. It's okay. We'll get through this. Damn it, hydrate. I stop with this. Oh, I haven't drank any water today. Look, we know this as Phoenicians. As Arizonans, we understand this. But we don't usually do enough of it. And I'm telling you, your summer's going to be better. Your body's going to be better. You're going to be healthier. Don't drink all that sugary energy drink, replenish Gatorade nonsense. Drink water, lots of it. Put some fruit in it or whatever. Make it nice. But hydrate, please. The weather is not going to screw around this summer. It's going to be hot, as it is every single year. So hydrate like crazy. If you're like me, I don't use sunscreen. So actually, I'm going to have to use sunscreen. Okay, I guess we'll just take the show in a whole different territory here. I'm actually going to use sunscreen this summer. I've been anti for years and years and years, but I just invested in a very large piece of body art. So I'm going to have to take care of that. Yeah, I'm going to have to protect that because that was an investment, in both financially and in pain. Whew. Y'all ever gotten a tattoo? That's not easy. I thought it would be a lot easier. I did. Until those needles were bouncing off up and down on my shin. Forget that noise. Holy mackerel. Yeah. So there you go. I'm going to have to at least put some sort of sunscreen on to protect the leg and make sure it's all taken care of. So just in case you didn't know, this isn't Cirque du Soleil. I can't get my leg up that high. It's a great horned owl on one side, it's a bison on the other side, and a hummingbird and Celtic pattern all around. Yeah. Hummingbird. Yeah. So hummingbird's my favorite bird. It just is. Followed by the great horned owl, obviously, and the bison being my favorite land animal, followed by the white rhino. There we go. So there you have it. A little ABC of me. Thanks for playing along. Thanks for hanging out. Remember, tomorrow is going to be absolutely hilarious. I have a list of plant and bird names who's allowing this to happen? I can't wait to share that with you. We'll have a lot of fun. So we'll see you tomorrow right here on The Go Show, celebrating all things outdoors in this beautiful outdoor playground of a state that we live in. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you tomorrow.